morning I was sitting there thinking, okay, where do I start? Well, I think if you read all those comments in part 3 in this video series, you'll realize that fluids and filters are probably number 1. And I have to agree with that. So what I did this morning, I started pulling out all the different filters, all the different fluids, and I realized, gee whiz, how am I going to cover all that in a video? It's probably going to take like 3 videos, right? Because I got to cover rear end, I got to cover transmission, I got to cover brakes, brake fluid, I got to cover engine, power steering, whatever else there might be. So I don't know if I can cover fluids and filters in one video, because I said, okay, I'm going to do 10 videos. So maybe fluids and filters are going to be a series of a couple videos. So right away, I apologize. There's going to be more than 10 videos. And they may not be in perfect sequence and order of priority. For instance, today, what do I feel like doing? Sometimes I don't feel like getting into the car and changing the rear end fluid. But there's something that's been bugging me ever since I got the car. And someone actually said in a comment, Kent, the first thing you need to do is install a right side outside mirror. So that's what I'm playing with today, okay? Pardon me, I apologize. I just got to get this mirror on there. It doesn't look good, and some of you say, why? Why there's no mirror? Well, actually up until the late 70s, and I can shake my head and scratch my head too. Why did Mercedes do that? But these right side mirrors were optional on a lot of cars, and so it was the case with this 300 SD. I can't imagine the owner saying, yeah, I don't want to spend the extra $100 for an outside mirror. So I found the mirror, and as with most of these, it's very stiff in operation. So it's going to require that I take it apart and lubricate it. Now you can't lubricate these from the outside. You literally have to get the glass out. And that's the tricky part, getting the glass out without breaking it and then reinstalling it, because you really got to get down in behind there. There's a ball joint they have to lubricate. There's some pivot points in there that need to be softened up and lubricated. And this is one place where you really want to use some synthetic grease. Don't just spray some sort of spray lubricant in there. It will not last. It's too exposed to the elements, and you need a quality synthetic grease when you take one of these mirrors apart. Now, if you want to know the details on how to do this in your own Mercedes that have these style of mirrors, both right and left side, I do have an on-demand video on my website where I take these apart and go through step by step, how to take them off the car, how to repair them, how to lubricate them, and how to put them back on the car. The other thing that I decided to fix, I mean, some of these things I do just because I feel like it. I'm sure some of you worked on old cars, you come up with these checklists, you say, well, I don't feel like doing that today, but man, this would be kind of fun. And this is one that's kind of fun. You know what this is? That's the side seat pull handle right down here. Take a look. It's broken. And how many 116s and even 123s you see out there that have these broken on the side? And that's because you have to pull up on them. You have to pull up on them to adjust the height of these manually operated seats. And I would say now, unless they've been replaced, 8 out of 10 of them are broken. And it was pretty clever for someone to come up with an aftermarket one that bolted on. So you do not need to pull the seat out to replace this. You do not need to take the seat all apart, as you would have to if you bought an OE replacement handle and arm as one unit, because that's the only way you could buy it from the. So if yours are broken or they're cracked, because you'll see cracks starting, and once the cracks start, you're going to have problems with these breaking in the future. We do have these available on my website, and they'll fit both the front and the side. They're a little bit different pattern in the front, but that's okay, they'll still work because there's only one available as an aftermarket replacement like this one. And I do have instructions that come with these handles. So I'm going to, over the next few hours, I'm going to replace this right side mirror, and I'm going to fix my seat pull handles. But guess what? It's not going to end there, because I've got to lubricate these seats as well. So you see the list just keeps getting bigger and bigger. But it's fun. I'm having a good time doing this. Okay, what am I doing? I'm actually exercising these tracks. A lot of times when this side seat pull is broken, that track assembly that raises and lowers the height of the seat is all frozen up. So I went ahead and lubricated it, and I've been getting my exercise for the day. It's not quite the end of the day, but look at that. I've got the right side mirror installed. I've got that new side seat pull handle installed. And I went ahead and took the time to do some lubrication. Now, there's a couple things I learned today. Maybe I had them reinforced to me. Guess what happened? As I was exercising the seat tracks after I lubricated them, I broke the front pull right there. I mean, this had absolutely no cracks in it. It looked just gorgeous. I thought, oh, I'm not going to have to change those. I just reefed up on it and it broke right off. And I'm finding this is more and more the case with these old Mercedes back in the 70s and early 80s. And this plastic is 40 years old. So I'm going to recommend, if you have one of these cars, the W116 or W123, that has these manual seats with these seat pull handles, I would recommend you just change all four, because they're available now. I don't know how much longer these are going to be available, but I'll tell you, you can kind of manipulate the front one with the handle broken off, but you can't do anything. I can remember one time I wanted to adjust the height of the seat. I had to go get some vice grips. I had to go get the vice grips and clamp on there. You could drive around with vice grips on that lever there, but I don't recommend it. So I'm going to recommend that you replace all four. In fact, I'm going to come up with a kit because I found out there are a couple of special tools that would make this job a lot easier to install these. It's kind of a tight area to get tools in down there when you're replacing these. So don't be alarmed if the Ghost series is delayed, because I've got to come up with another kit and I've got to produce a few new tools. Okay. What else is new? And so in the next part, we'll actually get into talking about the importance of changing your fluids and filters, and what type of fluid and what type of filters you should use.